Hey Taurus, I need to share something with you that came through in your reading today. This one hit different, and I think you really need to hear what the cards are showing about your energy right now. So I sat down to do this reading for you, and honestly, the moment I started shuffling, I could feel this heaviness. Not in a bad way necessarily, but more like there is weight you have been carrying that you might not even fully realize is there. And as I laid out the cards, what emerged was this really clear story about two people from your past who are still energetically connected to you. Not in a sweet, nostalgic way, but in a way that has been draining you. The cards are showing me that these connections were never really about mutual support or genuine care. There was always this underlying current of taking your energy, taking your resources, taking your emotional bandwidth. And the really interesting thing that came through is that you are at this pivotal moment right now where you can actually break free from these ties. Like the universe is literally handing you the scissors and saying, here, cut these cords, you do not need them anymore. Before we get into the specific cards, I just want you to know that this reading is deeply tied to karma. Not karma in that scary revenge way, but karma in the truest sense. What goes around comes around, and the energy you have been putting out there, all that patience, all that giving, all those times you showed up even when they did not deserve it, that energy is coming back to you. And conversely, the people who took advantage, who used you, who thought they could just extract from your well without ever replenishing it, they are experiencing their own karmic return. All right, let me show you what came through. The first card that appeared in your reading is the Six of Cups. Now, when this card shows up, we are usually talking about past connections, nostalgia, maybe old friends or past relationships. And in your reading, this card is pointing directly to these two people from your past. The Six of Cups is showing me that these connections felt really innocent at first, maybe even pure, like you genuinely believed these people cared about you, that there was real friendship or real love there. But here's what I am picking up about this specific energy. The Six of Cups can sometimes indicate people who come back into your life or who linger in your energy field through memories and old ties. And for you, Taurus, I am seeing that these two characters have been living rent-free in your energy. Not because you are actively thinking about them all the time, but because there are these energetic hooks still embedded in your field. The thing about the Six of Cups is it carries this quality of giving freely, of approaching relationships with childlike trust. And Taurus, you did that. You showed up with your whole heart. You gave generously. You offered these people access to your energy, your time, your resources, and they took it. They saw your generosity not as something to honor, but as something to exploit. What I am seeing is that one of these people might be someone you had a romantic connection with in the past. The energy feels like someone who knew exactly how to appeal to your sentimental side, who could tap into your desire for stability and commitment, and who used that knowledge to keep you engaged even when they were not giving you what you actually needed. They knew what buttons to push to keep you hopeful, to keep you invested. The second person feels different. This might be someone you considered a friend or possibly even a family member. The energy here is less romantic and more about dependency. Like this person learned that you were reliable, that you would show up, that you would help, that you would give, and instead of appreciating that, they started expecting it. They started treating your generosity as an obligation rather than a gift. Both of these connections share something in common, though. They were never really mutual. The Six of Cups in this position is showing me that while you were giving from a place of genuine care, they were taking from a place of entitlement. And that imbalance has been affecting your energy in ways you might not have fully recognized until now. I am also picking up that you might have made excuses for these people. The Six of Cups can indicate seeing the past through rose-colored glasses, remembering the good times, focusing on the potential rather than the reality. And Taurus, you did that because that is who you are. You are loyal, you give people chances, you believe in the best in others. But these two people were not honoring that. They were using your loyalty as a tool to keep you accessible to them. The really important message from the Six of Cups here is that you are being called to see these connections clearly now. Not with bitterness or anger, but with honest clarity. These were not the relationships you thought they were, and recognizing that is actually the first step in breaking free. Now, the second card that came through is the Wheel of Fortune. And oh, Taurus, this is where things start to shift in a major way. The Wheel of Fortune is all about cycles, karma, destiny, and the natural turning of events. When this card appears in a reading about past connections and karmic ties, it is telling you that a cycle is completing. See, the Wheel of Fortune operates on this principle that everything moves in cycles. What goes up must come down. What is taken will be returned. The energy you put out comes back to you. And right now, the wheel is turning in your favor. After a period where you felt like you were at the bottom, where these people were taking, and you were just giving and giving, the wheel is shifting position. What I am seeing with this card is that the universe has been watching. Every time you showed up with integrity, every time you gave from your heart, every time you honored your commitments, even when these people did not honor theirs, and now the Wheel of Fortune is bringing you your return on that investment. But here is the other side of this card. While the wheel is turning up for you, it is turning down for these two people from your past. The Wheel of Fortune is neutral. It does not judge. It just turns. And people who have been operating from a place of taking advantage, of using others, of treating people as resources rather than as human beings, they are about to experience the downward turn of that wheel. I am getting such strong energy around this idea that these two people thought they had it figured out. They thought they could just keep taking from you indefinitely. They thought your loyalty and your giving nature meant you would always be there for them to use. But the Wheel of Fortune is saying, nope, that cycle is done. The wheel has turned and they no longer have access to your energy the way they used to. What is really interesting about the Wheel of Fortune in this reading is that it is showing me this is not something you have to force or make happen. This is divine timing. This is the universe stepping in and saying, okay, enough is enough. It is time for the scales to balance. You do not have to seek revenge. You do not have to confront these people. You do not have to do anything except allow this natural karmic cycle to complete itself. The Wheel of Fortune is also telling me that you are entering a new cycle, a cycle where you are going to experience more reciprocity in your relationships, where people who genuinely appreciate you and honor what you bring to the table are going to come into your life, where your generosity is going to be met with generosity in return rather than with exploitation. This card is also highlighting that you have been learning some really important lessons during the time these people were in your life. Lessons about boundaries, about discernment, about recognizing the difference between someone who is going through a hard time and needs support versus someone who is just a taker. And those lessons are going to serve you so well moving forward. The timing of the Wheel of Fortune suggests that this shift is already in motion. You might even be feeling it already. Maybe you have been noticing that you think about these people less. Maybe you have been feeling more energized, more like yourself. Maybe you have been naturally pulling your energy back from these old connections without even consciously deciding to do it. That is the Wheel of Fortune at work. The third card in your reading is Judgment. And wow, this card is powerful. Judgment is about awakening, about seeing the truth clearly, about the moment when everything clicks into place and you understand something at a soul level that maybe you were denying or avoiding before. In the context of your reading, Judgment is that moment of clarity where you finally see these two people for who they really are. Not who you hoped they would be, not who they pretended to be, not who they could have been if only they tried harder, but who they actually are, based on their consistent patterns of behavior. Judgment is showing me that you have been receiving downloads and insights about these connections. Maybe you have been having moments where a memory surfaces and suddenly you see it differently. Like you remember a time when you thought this person was being supportive, but now you can see they were actually manipulating you. Or you remember giving them something, and at the time you felt good about it, but now you recognize they were guilting you into it. These moments of clarity are Judgment at work. This card is helping you see the truth so you can make different choices moving forward. And the truth is not always comfortable. Sometimes it hurts to realize that someone you cared about was using you. Sometimes it is disappointing to acknowledge that a connection you valued was one-sided, but that discomfort is actually necessary for your growth and freedom. What I am picking up with Judgment is that you are being called to your highest timeline, the version of reality where you are no longer available to be used or taken advantage of, the version where you honor yourself enough to walk away from connections that drain you, the version where you trust your discernment and your intuition about people. Judgment is also a card about karmic completion. These two people came into your life to teach you something. Maybe they taught you about boundaries. Maybe they taught you about discernment. Maybe they taught you about your own worth and what you will and will not accept in relationships. And now that you have learned those lessons, the karmic contract is complete. You do not owe them anything more. I am also seeing with judgment that there might be a moment of reckoning for these two people. Not necessarily something you initiate, but a natural consequence of their actions. Judgment is the card of truth revealed. And when people have been operating from deception or manipulation or exploitation, eventually the truth comes out. Eventually their patterns catch up with them. Eventually other people see what you saw. The Judgment card is telling you to trust that divine justice is real. You do not have to make anything happen. You do not have to expose these people or call them out or seek revenge. The universe handles that. Your job is just to rise above, to take the high road, to focus on your own healing and growth. One more thing about Judgment that feels important. This card is showing me that you are being reborn in a sense. You are shedding this old version of yourself who was available to be taken advantage of, who gave without discernment, who made excuses for people who did not deserve them. And you are stepping into a new version of yourself who is wise, who is boundaried, who knows her worth. The fourth card that appeared is the Sun. And let me tell you, after the heaviness of recognizing these toxic connections and the intensity of the karmic shifts happening, the Sun is exactly what we need. This card is pure positive energy. It is victory, it is clarity, it is joy, it is success. The Sun is telling me that once you fully break free from these two people and their energetic hold on you, you are going to experience this incredible lightness, like a weight has been lifted, like you can finally breathe fully, like the clouds have parted and you can see clearly for the first time in a long time. What I love about the Sun in this position is that it is promising you that better days are absolutely coming. Not just better, but genuinely joyful. The Sun is about experiencing life in full color again, about feeling like yourself, about reconnecting with what brings you genuine happiness rather than what you think you should do or who you think you should be for other people. The Sun is also showing me success and recognition. After a period where these people were taking credit for your contributions or diminishing your accomplishments or making you feel small, you are about to step into a phase where your light shines so bright that nobody can diminish it. Your gifts are going to be recognized. Your value is going to be appreciated. Your efforts are going to pay off in tangible ways. I am seeing with the Sun that you are going to attract new people into your life who actually deserve you. People who celebrate your success rather than being threatened by it. People who give as much as they take. People who appreciate your generosity rather than exploiting it. The Sun brings in high vibe connections that are based on mutual respect and genuine affection. The Sun is also telling me about your personal happiness. Independent of what anyone else thinks or does, you are going to find your own joy. You are going to reconnect with things you love that maybe you neglected while you were giving so much of yourself to people who did not appreciate it. Maybe you are going to pick up a hobby again. Maybe you are going to travel somewhere you have always wanted to go. Maybe you are going to invest in yourself in ways you have been putting off. There is this energy of childlike joy with the Sun. Like, remember when you were a kid and you would get so excited about simple things? That is the energy you are stepping into, where life feels good again, where you wake up looking forward to your day, where you feel grateful and blessed rather than drained and depleted. The Sun in this reading is also confirmation that you made the right choice in breaking free from these connections. Sometimes when we distance ourselves from people, we second guess ourselves. We wonder if maybe we were too harsh or if maybe we should give them another chance. But the Sun is saying, no, you did exactly what you needed to do. And look at the beautiful life waiting for you on the other side of that decision. The fifth card is Death. Now, before you panic, let me explain what this card is actually about in your reading. Death is not about physical death. It is about transformation, endings, and the necessary process of letting go so something new can be born. In your reading, the Death card is showing that these connections with these two people from your past absolutely have to end. Not pause, not take a break, not revisit later, but fully end. The death card is the universe saying this cycle is complete and trying to keep it going is only going to cause you pain. What I am seeing with death is that there might have been part of you that was holding on to hope. Maybe hope that these people would change, that they would wake up and realize what they lost, that they would finally treat you the way you deserved. But death is cutting through that hope with clarity. These people are not going to change, not in time to matter for you anyway. And continuing to hold space for them is just keeping you stuck. Death is about necessary endings. And yes, endings can be sad even when they are the right choice. It is okay to grieve these connections even while recognizing they were not healthy. It is okay to feel loss even while knowing you are better off without these people. Death honors that complexity. But here's what is really powerful about the death card in your reading. It is not just about what is ending. It is about what that ending makes space for. Every time we release something that is not serving us, we create room for something better to enter. And you have been holding on to these energetic cords with these two people, which means that energy has not been available for new healthy connections. The death card is asking you to fully surrender these relationships, to stop checking their social media, to stop hoping they will reach out, to stop replaying conversations in your head wondering what you could have done differently, to stop making excuses for them to other people, to stop defending them when your intuition has been telling you they do not deserve your defense. I am also seeing with death that there is a part of your identity that is dying too. The part of you that defined yourself by how much you could give, by how patient you could be, by how understanding you could be even when people were mistreating you. That version of you served a purpose at one time, but she is not who you need to be anymore. The death card is inviting you into a rebirth, into a new version of yourself who has learned from these experiences and emerged wiser, stronger, more discerning. You are not going to be bitter or closed off, but you are going to be much more careful about who gets access to you. You are going to trust your intuition when it tells you something is off. You are going to honor your own needs instead of always prioritizing everyone else. There is something final about the death card that I think is actually comforting. It is not wishy-washy. It is not maybe. It is not let us see. It is done. This chapter is closed. And that finality, even though it might feel scary, is actually incredibly freeing. You do not have to keep revisiting this situation or these people. You can truly move on. The sixth card in your reading is the Hanged Man. And this card is really interesting in the context of everything else we have been seeing. The Hanged Man is about suspension, about seeing things from a different perspective, about voluntary sacrifice, about letting go of control. In your reading, the Hanged Man is showing me that there was a period of time where you were stuck, where you felt like you were in limbo with these two people, like you could not fully move on, but you also were not really connected anymore. You were just sort of hanging there in this in-between space. The Hanged Man is also showing me that you sacrificed a lot for these connections. And I am not just talking about material things, although you might have given those too. I am talking about emotional energy, time, peace of mind. You put your own needs and desires on hold, thinking that is what you were supposed to do for people you cared about. But here is what the Hanged Man is revealing. Those sacrifices were not honored. They were not appreciated. These people did not look at your willingness to put yourself aside for them and think, wow, I am so grateful, I should treat this person better. Instead, they thought, oh, they will always be there no matter what I do, so I do not have to really try. The Hanged Man in this position is showing me that you were seeing these relationships from an upside-down perspective. You were looking at them through a lens of what you hoped they could be rather than what they actually were. And staying in that suspended state of hoping and waiting was keeping you from moving forward. What is interesting, though, is that the Hanged Man is also about gaining wisdom through that suspension. You learned so much during this time. You learned about your own patterns, about why you accept certain treatment, about what you truly need and value in relationships. That time was not wasted, even though it was painful. The Hanged Man is now asking you to shift your perspective fully, to stop seeing yourself as a victim of these people, and instead see yourself as someone who had an experience, learned from it, and is now free to make different choices. The power is yours. It always has been, but now you can actually see that. I am also getting with the Hanged Man that you might need to let go of the need to understand why these people treated you the way they did. Sometimes we get stuck trying to figure out what we did wrong or why we were not enough to make someone treat us well. But the Hanged Man is saying that is not your question to answer. Their behavior was about them, not about you, and you can release yourself from the burden of trying to make it make sense. The Hanged Man is showing that this period of suspension is ending. You are being unhooked. You are being released from that in-between space. You are being given permission to fully let go and walk into your future without dragging these old connections with you. The seventh card is Ace of Wands, and after all the endings and transformations we have been seeing, the Ace of Wands is such a breath of fresh air. This card is about new beginnings, passion, inspiration, creative energy, and taking action on new opportunities. The Ace of Wands in your reading is telling me that once you clear out these old toxic connections, you are going to have this surge of creative life force energy. All the energy that was tied up in those relationships, all the mental and emotional bandwidth that was being drained by these people, it is going to come flooding back to you. And you are going to feel inspired and motivated in ways you have not felt in a long time. What I love about the Ace of Wands is that it is the purest form of fire energy. It is enthusiasm, it is drive, it is that feeling of I can do anything. And Taurus, you are about to feel that way. After a period of feeling stuck or drained or questioning yourself, you're going to wake up one day soon and feel like a completely different person. Energized, clear, ready to take on the world. The Ace of Wands is also showing me new opportunities coming your way. These might be career opportunities, creative projects, new ventures that excite you. The universe is rewarding you for finally breaking free from those draining connections by opening up new pathways for you. I am seeing with the Ace of Wands that you might start something new. Maybe a project you have been thinking about but have not had the energy to start. Maybe a business idea, maybe a creative pursuit. The Ace of Wands is giving you the green light and the energy to actually do it. This card is also about courage and confidence. After these experiences with people who made you doubt yourself or feel like you were not enough, the Ace of Wands is returning you to your natural state of knowing you are capable and worthy. You are going to take bold action. You are going to trust yourself. You are going to go after what you want without second-guessing yourself. The Ace of Wands in the context of relationships is also interesting. While you are not necessarily looking for new romantic connections right now, this card suggests that when you are ready, you are going to attract very different energy. People who are genuinely interested in you, who bring their own fire and passion to the table, who excite you rather than drain you. What is really powerful about the Ace of Wands after the Death card is this sense of rebirth into something so much better. It is not just about ending the old, it is about beginning something amazing. Your best life is ahead of you, Taurus, and it starts with this surge of new energy and possibility that the Ace of Wands represents. The 8th card is 4 of Wands, and this card makes me so happy for you because it is about celebration, stability, harmony, and reaching a milestone that brings genuine joy. The 4 of Wands is showing me that you are building or about to build something stable and beautiful in your life. After the instability and disappointment of these past connections, you are creating or entering into a phase where things just feel solid and good. This might be literal, like you might be moving into a new home or creating a physical space that feels peaceful and celebratory. But it is also energetic and emotional. You are building inner stability. You are creating peace within yourself. You are establishing a life that feels authentically yours rather than one where you are constantly accommodating people who do not reciprocate. The 4 of Wands is a card of celebration, and I think you really need to hear this. You deserve to celebrate yourself. You deserve to acknowledge how far you have come. You deserve to recognize that cutting those cords and walking away from those toxic connections took real strength and courage. You did that. That is worth celebrating. I am seeing with the 4 of Wands that you might be entering a period of your life that just feels easier, where things flow, where you wake up feeling content, where you look around at your life and think, yeah, this is good, I am happy here. That might sound simple, but after what you have been through, that feeling of simple contentment is actually profound. The Four of Wands is also about community and finding your people. The people who genuinely care about you, who show up for you the way you show up for them, who celebrate your wins and support you through challenges. These people exist, and they are either already in your life or coming into your life very soon. There is this energy with the Four of Wands of having created something worth protecting, and that includes your peace, your energy, your joy. You are not going to let just anyone disrupt what you have built. You are going to be very intentional about who gets access to your life and your energy moving forward. The Four of Wands, after the Ace of Wands, is showing me this progression from that initial spark of new energy and new beginnings into actually building something stable and lasting from that energy. You are not just going to have a burst of inspiration and then nothing. You are going to channel that inspiration into creating real positive change in your life. The 9th card in your reading is the Magician. And wow, Taurus, this card is so powerful for you right now. The Magician is about manifestation, having all the tools you need, taking control of your reality, and using your will to create what you want in your life. The Magician is showing me that you have everything you need within you to create the life you want. All the resources, all the skills, all the wisdom. You do not need these two people from your past. You never did. They made you think you needed them, that you were better with them in your life. But the Magician is revealing the truth. You are the source of your own magic. What I am picking up with the Magician is that you are stepping into your power in a way you have not before. You are recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstances or of other people's choices. You are a creator. You get to decide what your life looks like. You get to manifest what you want. And nobody can take that power from you unless you give it away. The Magician is also about conscious creation. Moving forward, you are going to be much more intentional about what you are creating in your life. Instead of just reacting to what other people do or letting circumstances push you around, you are going to actively choose what you want and take the steps to make it happen. I am seeing with the Magician that you have this ability to transform your reality. The tools on the Magician's table represent all 4 elements, all 4 suits of the tarot, meaning you have access to all forms of energy and all methods of creation. You can manifest material abundance, you can create emotional fulfillment, you can build mental clarity, and you can cultivate spiritual connection. The Magician, in the context of your karmic journey with these two people, is showing me that part of why they came into your life was to help you recognize your own power. Not by treating you well, but by treating you poorly enough that you finally said enough and took your power back. Sometimes our greatest teachers are the people who show us what we will not accept anymore. The Magician is also about communication and using your voice. Moving forward, you are going to speak up for yourself more. You are going to say no when something does not feel right. You are going to express your needs and desires clearly. You are going to stop making yourself small to make other people comfortable. There is this energy with the Magician of mastery. You have been through something difficult and you have emerged with wisdom and skill that you did not have before. You know how to recognize red flags now. You know how to protect your energy. You know how to discern who is genuine and who is just trying to use you. That is mastery. The 10th and final card in your reading is 7 of Cups. And this card is really interesting as the closing energy because it is about choices, illusions, fantasies, and discernment. The 7 of Cups is showing me that these two people from your past presented you with illusions. They showed you versions of themselves that were not real. They made promises they had no intention of keeping. They created fantasies of what your relationships could be like if only this or if only that. But none of it was real. What the 7 of Cups is revealing is that you were choosing to believe in those illusions for a while. Not because you were naive or foolish, but because you wanted to believe the best in people. You wanted to believe that if you just loved them enough, or supported them enough, or were patient enough, they would become the people they claim to be. But the 7 of Cups in this position is showing that you have clarity now. You can see through the illusions. You understand that those fantasies were never going to manifest into reality because these people were not capable of or interested in actually creating real reciprocal relationships with you. The Seven of Cups is also about choices moving forward. You have so many options available to you now, so many paths you could take, so many different ways you could build your life. And the lesson from your experience with these two people is to choose wisely, to trust your discernment, to look beyond surface appearances and empty promises and evaluate people based on their consistent actions. I am seeing, with the Seven of Cups, that you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the possibilities in front of you. After being stuck in those draining connections, having freedom and options might actually feel a bit disorienting at first. That is normal. Give yourself time to adjust to this new reality where you get to choose what you want rather than just managing what other people are doing to you. The Seven of Cups is warning you to be careful of falling into new illusions. You might be tempted to jump quickly into new connections or opportunities because you are so happy to be free from the old ones. But take your time. Use the discernment you have developed. Make sure that what you are seeing is real and not just another fantasy. What I love about the Seven of Cups as your final card is that it is reminding you that you have choices. You always have choices. Even when you felt stuck with these people, you always had the choice to walk away. And you made that choice. You chose yourself. You chose your peace. You chose your freedom. And that is going to change everything for you. The Seven of Cups is also about dreams and desires. Now that you are free from these draining connections, what do you actually want? Not what these people wanted from you or what you thought you should want to make them happy. What do you want? The Seven of Cups is inviting you to get clear on that and then to choose the path that leads you toward your genuine desires rather than toward illusions or fantasies. So Taurus, let me bring this all together for you. Your reading today showed such a clear story of breaking free from toxic connections and stepping into your power. The Six of Cups revealed these two people from your past and the innocent way these connections started before they turned exploitative. The Wheel of Fortune showed you that karma is absolutely real, and the cycle is turning in your favor while these people face the consequences of their actions. Judgment brought you the clarity to see these connections for what they really were and to complete that karmic contract. The Sun promised you that joy and success and genuine happiness are waiting for you on the other side of these endings. Death made it clear that these connections have to fully end so something better can begin. The Hanged Man showed you how you were stuck in suspension, but also how you gained wisdom from that experience. The Ace of Wands brought you that surge of new creative energy and new beginnings. The Four of Wands showed you building something stable and beautiful and celebratory in your life. The Magician revealed your power to manifest and create the reality you actually want. And the Seven of Cups reminded you to use discernment, to see through illusions, and to make choices that serve your highest good. These two people thought they could keep taking from you indefinitely. They thought your loyalty and your giving nature meant they would always have access to you. But they were wrong. The karmic cycle is complete. You are breaking free, and your best life is just beginning. Trust this process, Taurus. Trust that walking away from what was draining you is opening up space for what will truly nourish you. Trust that the universe sees you and honors you and is supporting you in this transition. You did the hard work. You made the difficult choice. Now it is time to receive the beautiful rewards that are coming your way. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today. I hope this resonated and gave you the confirmation or clarity you needed. I would love to hear if this connected with your situation, so feel free to share in the comments. And if you found this reading helpful, it really supports the channel when you like and subscribe. Take care of yourself, Taurus. You deserve all the good things coming your way.